All right, everybody, welcome to Pressed, episode 3. Today we are joined by Stan, the warrior poet. Stan, I'm going to kick it over to you really quick. Introduce yourself. Where can people find you?
I'm Stan Kanopka. I'm called the Warrior Poet. You can find me on all social media at the Words of Stan. You can also head yourself to SourcePoint Press's website and pick up my new book, The Rejected.
Beautiful. The Rejected. Pick it up if you haven't read it yet, folks. Here on Press, we're going to talk about everything to do with pop culture, comic books. Today we're going to be talking Deadpool, solo trailer. We have a great segment for you today brought to you by Ben. We also have live questions that we're going to be taking for you from Stan. And we got a great question for the panel. And then also joined today, we have Ben. Ben, where can people find you?
Hey, what's going on? People can find me at Mr. Ben AU on Instagram and Ben Goldsmith on Facebook or seancefromcomic.com if you're interested in that kind of thing. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man? What's up? So should we get this started right now with the hair, or should we wait a second?
Oh, fine. Okay.
Let's get it over with. Let's tell everybody why, though.
Okay, yeah. So as part of a mix-up of last week, during the What the Fuck segment, I actually challenged Stan to a hair dyeing contest based on the Super Bowl. He's from Philadelphia. I'm from Boston. So obviously, he rooted for the Eagles. I rooted for the Patriots. The Patriots lost. I think most people know that by now. So I, under here, are you guys ready?
We are ready.
So ready.
All right.
Oh my God, you look like dude, you look straight up like the Joker.
Oh my God, Ben.
Oh man. Oh wow.
I think you have a new look.
Holy shit.
I feel like I work at Hot Topic.
You emo bastard.
I'm just glad that you followed through with because the Patriots lost, which I'm so happy that they did. You followed through with that.
This is all I'll say. The Patriots, the Eagles played better football, period. I'm proud for you guys to experience that win, and I'm excited.
I'm
excited that Stan's wife is partying hard still to this day.
Yeah, no, currently she is out scaling light poles and setting cars on fire on the street.
All right. I think this is going to be a great time to start that first segment, seeing as we're talking about a bunch of debauchery. So, today, I think it was today. Was it today or yesterday? I think it was today.
I think it was earlier today.
Yeah, the Deadpool trailer dropped, folks. The brand new Deadpool trailer dropped, and it looked pretty good to me. I'm pretty excited. Pretty good. Okay, so I want to know what you guys think of the Deadpool trailer. The first looks at Cable, and also kind of setting the tone for what to expect. I have some interesting observations from the trailer that I didn't necessarily expect. I wonder if you guys thought the same thing. I'm going to kick it over to Ben first. Ben, what was your opinion on the trailer? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like? What didn't you like? Tell us more.
I got you. Well, first of all, is my hair offsetting the color composite of the video right now? Or are we good?
It looks like hairspray. I hope that's not permanent.
This is semi-permanent, so it'll be a couple of days for sure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fuck around, man. I lost a bet. So anyway, listen, Deadpool 2. It looks like it takes everything about the first one and ramps it up, and I'm so excited. I think that this thing looks like everything that you want it to be. Did you guys notice Shatterstar in the background?
Oh boy.
Dude,
there's all kinds of Easter eggs.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so much good stuff. It definitely looks like the action got ramped up. You know, like obviously the budget got bigger because of the success of it. But they didn't lose sight of the tone of it. It's still hilarious. It's I have nothing but good feelings about it. I remember seeing the first one in the movie theaters and laughing out loud. I saw it by myself and laughing out loud to myself. It's so rare to do that. You know, usually you go, you know, but like actual guffaws in the theater by myself, and this one looks like it's gonna be the same thing.
Yeah, that first movie was something absolutely special. Couldn't agree with you more, to be honest with you. It was truly fantastic, that first movie. But well, let's see now, Stan. What was the Stan the Warrior motherfucking poet? What is your opinions on this badass trailer?
All right, for the first, let's say 28, 29 seconds precisely, actually, it is an amazing look at what Cable is, where he's from, who he is, kind of, not what he does, but who he is. And it jumps to, from the 28-second mark, it jumps out to about the maybe 31-second mark. And you see he has no armor. You see it's just the plain green arm. And that's when Deadpool cuts in and does his whole, live action Deadpool toys and all that stuff. And then, of course, in the middle of it, they started over again, and it looks badass, man. If they're gonna put a hard R movie out like this, Josh Brolin is fucking hilarious. I mean, at the end, he makes fun of him. It was the most hilarious shit I've ever seen, and that's the end of the trailer. But I can anticipate that this shit's gonna be a really big hit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very successful, especially in the box office. Now, for me, because the green arm, they were like, "Oh, you didn't even do the CGI," and they made fun of Superman. It's like, what? It's not like we now have to remove a mustache or anything. It's just it's just an arm. So I really like that, a little dig at DC, which also speaks to Deadpool breaking that wall, and I really liked it. Did anybody else think that Cable was kind of like the villain? A lot, like more so, like he's going to be the villain.
No, I mean it's going to be the classic duel of personalities at first, and then the eventual team up, and that leads to the question of who is the actual villain of this movie, because they did show a quick flash frame of like a really scary looking bald guy, and I just don't know the Deadpool mythology well enough to know off the top of my head who that was.
Yeah, I'm curious to know who the bad is. I think that we'll probably learn more as the trailers kind of develop here. But as for me, I'm pumped for Deadpool, man. I cannot wait to see this movie in theaters. This will be a movie I absolutely see in theaters. I think it's one of those you just got to go out and support it, because we want more stuff like this. And so give me some hard R, give me some laughs, give me some.
Can I ask you guys a quick question before we move on?
Yeah.
Are you guys now that we are gearing ever closer to the actual Black Panther release, are you guys still as excited?
I can't wait to see it, but I'm not going to go out to see it.
But do you ever go out to see movies, Stan?
I saw Man of Steel at the special screening I can go to. I saw Batman versus Superman at the special screening I can go to, and I saw Justice League at the special screenings I can go to.
Special screening. Do you go to these things on a very short bus?
No. It's a very, very long black car.
Oh,
driven by a Super Bowl winner.
Well, I don't even want to play that. I don't play that. I don't know what I'm talking about it.
Sorry, I'm not going to pick on you about it. I know it's an actual thing for you. You did it. All of Philly will be proud. I'll put this up on the Philadelphia website.
All right, real quick, guys, real quick. I'm going to transition. I'm going to transition before we start talking about. But you were sorry to answer your question. I'm very excited for Black Panther. I think there's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be, honestly, because I think it's going to be a little bit of an eye opener for me, and I like that. I think I'm going to go in. It's going to be different than anything we've ever seen before. I think the culturally it's going to be different, and I'm really excited for that, because I've been wanting to dive into different types of culture with Marvel, and I'm ready for it. And I hope most moviegoers are, and I'm excited for it. I just hope it doesn't let people down, because I know there's a lot of people that have been waiting for a movie like this for a very long time.
Yeah, that would suck really bad, as if it did not do well.
But I think it's going to do good. And I mean, the cast they put together. I mean, Lupita Nyong'o is incredible in everything she does. And then you have what's his face, who was in Creed, who is amazing. And so Michael B. Anthony's in this.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, yeah, Michael B. Jordan. Sorry. So I mean,
he plays Eric Kilgore.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this. I don't know what to expect. I just hope, like I said, it doesn't let people down, because then that could suck. But all right, carrying on, guys, carrying on. So the next big news that dropped at the Super Bowl, we got a little teaser of it, and then the following day we got the full trailer of it. That's the Solo trailer. We've been waiting for this thing forever. We're like, when is Disney going to start the marketing for Solo? You've heard nothing but problems with production. You've heard nothing. They had to get rid of the directors that were on it originally, and they had to replace it with Ron Howard because they're making a slapstick comedy, I guess, in the beginning. They had to bring in an acting coach for Alden Ehrenreich. So there was a lot of questions about Solo
And money.
and a lot of money thrown at Solo to make sure this thing's right, protecting the brand. So Disney's all about protecting the brand. So I'm going to ask you first. Did you guys see the teaser trailer during the Super Bowl? Did you guys?
I watched it, but I'm sure Ben was covered in tears and couldn't see much.
If you're waiting for me to answer, I'm not. I'm just going to let you continue.
Okay, fair enough. So my first initial impressions of the teaser were that it was a great teaser. I was like, wow, I'm actually excited for this movie. This looks good. And then the first trailer came out the next day, the full trailer, and I am not that excited. I think it looks good in certain degrees. I don't see everything else but Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo. I'm for everything else looked great. I just don't see, when I look at this kid, I just don't see Han. And what's more to me is I know the time frame that this takes place, and it's just it's like five years before, I believe, A New Hope. I think it's like in that time frame, in that area. So it's like he's almost the same age as Han was in A New Hope as an actor. So I just don't know. I just don't see it. But with that being said, guys, I want to know what your opinions are on this. I'm going to kick it over to Stan first. Stan, what is your opinions on the Solo official trailer?
I thought that the teaser was neat, but not enough to bring me in. He looked a lot like Han Solo did. It was pretty good. But when I finally saw the trailer, I was very disappointed. Chewbacca looked fake. Everything looked half-assed. I don't know. It's like Fast and Furious in space at this point.
That's a good point.
But I'm hopeful, though. I mean, I don't suppose that they're going to dump all this money. And like you said, Freddie, they brought in coaches and all this other stuff. They have a lot invested in this movie. And I don't think they're going to release it until it's done. You know what I mean? Until they're satisfied with it. And if they give us a piece of shit that they're satisfied with, that tells you a lot about what they think about you as a consumer. So it's the truth. It's the truth. These you heard it on what the hell was that? Scrooged. Oh, this is the same thing we ran last year, sir. So what? These idiots don't remember anything. And it's the truth. True. So,
Yeah, to your point with that, though, I mean, you have, so for instance, like we're talking about like brands, right? So you have Star Wars. Star Wars, to me, has not released a bad movie yet. However, they've released controversial movies where not everybody was on board with it. But no one can say it was a bad movie, from budget to acting to, it just might not have been the story you wanted. Like for instance, with the Last Jedi that just came out, I love that movie. A lot of people didn't. But
I can't wait to see it.
It was fantastic. I think personally, there's certain things I could do without, like the Canto Bight scene. But with that being said, the Last Jedi, you might not agree with the story, but you cannot diss the movie from a production standpoint and the story that they delivered. So it just might not have been your story, unlike Suicide Squad, which to me, I just keep going back to that movie, which is just just horrendous. But anyways, I'm going to kick it over to Ben. Ben, what was your thoughts on the Solo trailer? I know you're not a big Star Wars fan. For the audience that's watching, Ben's not a big Star Wars fan, but that's good because they'll keep us honest. What did you think?
Yeah, I think I'm the resident Star Wars non-truther. Going back to the Suicide Squad thing too, though, what was the story that anyone's told for Suicide Squad that anyone wanted to see so far? Like,
I want to watch the movie. I'm sorry, I haven't seen it. I saw the first 20 minutes of it. I thought it was fucking awesome, and I keep falling asleep.
What, of Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie.
My god! Give me another CGI villain. I'm gonna blow my fucking head off.
No,
you're surrounded by assholes.
The writing in that movie. We're a panel of writers, right? We're all writers, and all I gotta say is the writing in that movie was so horrible. Like in terms of like the dialogue. Like it was just all one-liners and all just quick jabs. It was just come on.
To me, that reeks of studio interference. And if you look at, they had like 14 writers on it and all that shit too. So and
they reshot it. And you have to remember they did it to make it more funny.
But we're not. Listen, we're not talking. We're not talking about that right now.
You're right. I digress as well.
Yeah,
Back to what you were saying. Solo
as the resident not Star Wars truther, and I should say beforehand, just so people understand where I'm coming from, and this is where I crucify myself, is that I just don't see the world of Star Wars being that interesting. Like, everyone's either a bipedal, sort of human analog, or they're an alien who speaks a weird language. And that's the only two really stereotypes that there are, and that's all they ever play with. So I've never seen it as a thing like, I want to go to that world. I'm like, I already live in that world. It's the Earth. Like, and then like Rick and Morty does a better job of creating a science fiction universe. And so that's where I'm coming from at. And the first, obviously the first movies were great. I just want to give people, a background to this before I just start shitting on the Han Solo thing.
I understand where you're coming from. It's not for everybody, but I mean, that's a whole other conversation why Star Wars should be appreciated. And I think if you give me an hour in a locked room with you, you'll come out being like, okay.
And unable to sit, most likely.
Stan, I've been spending too much time with you. I was going to make a joke about pegging.
Okay. Oh my God. I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about the good old butt stuff.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so real quick, before we get into...
Yeah, that's what pegging is. You know that, right? It's butt stuff.
I thought that was docking.
Oh, did you think of pegging? I was talking about like playing cribbage or something. Anyway,
we're ready.
That's not good. I'm gonna keep us on track. We're not gonna go down this lonely dark hole. We're gonna.
Yes, we are.
No pun intended. But what we're gonna do right now, real quick, is I want Ben's opinion on the Solo trailer coming from a non-Star Wars fan.
Okay, so. From a non-Star Wars fan, the Solo trailer looks dumb. I mean, nothing about it looks great. Every scene in the trailer that is supposed to make you go is totally fan service, like the Lando Calrissian thing. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Childish. Oh, no, not Childish Gambino. What's his real name?
Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover. Oh yeah, he's been petitioning for this for years online, and the fans have been saying this online. So finally, we gave the fans what they wanted. And like, oh, and this is when he first saw and like, none of it seems like these stories that anyone would give a shit about unless you already were deeply entrenched in the Han Solo universe. I actually really don't mind Aldrich. Did you guys see Hail Caesar?
Yeah, no. So that's the thing. Like, Hail Caesar is great. He's great at it.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Based on that performance alone, I'd be more than willing to give him a shot. And I genuinely like Harrison Ford as the character of Han Solo. And but all in all, just it's like, what about it that they're clearly going for the people who are already going to see it. There's no intention there of being like, this is that new thing. It's the same old.
Here's my thing with that. So I don't mind fan service when it's done correctly. So for instance, fan service was done very correctly in Rogue One, where they brought in certain elements, like at the end of Rogue One. End of Rogue One, spoiler alert, when Vader boards the ship, you see Princess Leia in the end, like that was fan service done correctly. You didn't go out of your way to plug this in because you wanted to, like it made sense. Now for this, I want them to expand the universe. I want more new stories, which I think that'll be kind of a segue into what we're going to talk about next real quick. But I don't need to know Han Solo's past. Having a little bit of mystery is fine with me. I hate when they do all these origin stories. I'm not excited for this movie, and I'm the biggest Star Wars nut. I've got a freaking Jedi tattoo, folks. I am the biggest Star Wars nut on the face of the earth. Everything is Star Wars for me. But I'm not excited for this movie. I'm just not, because I don't need to have, Harrison Ford is Han Solo. This kid is not. And that's just my opinion on it.
And then that's a great point. Do we love Han Solo or do we love Harrison Ford? You know?
Like in Indiana Jones, I understand they had a flashback scene in Indiana Jones, a young Indy, right? That's fine. It made sense for the movie. I don't need a full young Indiana Jones movie.
Right. I saw that. I did see that too, is that someone was defending it as Sean Patrick Flannery was a really great young Indiana Jones. And it's like, well,
that's 10 minutes of a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't need a full 2-hour movie of that, and it worked for that movie because we still got Harrison Ford in it. Like
and River Phoenix was actually played a young Harrison Ford.
Yeah. God rest his soul. But with that being said, kind of quick segue. Do you guys like Game of Thrones?
Oh, love it.
Big fan of Game of Thrones.
You guys see the hat? The hat I was wearing before.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Game of Dork.
Oh, come on. All right. Well, real quick.
Did you see the size of those books? If you need to write a fucking book that's that fucking thick, it's to confuse your readers. That's it. There's not enough fucking information in that story. Yeah.
No, this
is so stupid. How many? I want you to count the repeated fucking words in that book and omit half of them. It'll look like a goddamn graphic novel.
So we have our
George
resident
R. Martin, whoever the fuck.
Wait, Stan.
That's
so
bullshit.
we have a resident Star Wars hater. We have a resident Game of Thrones hater. Freddie, what huge franchise do you hate? So all three of us can be lambasted.
Ooh, what huge franchise do I hate?
You mentioned My Little Ponies and I quit.
Stan,
I can't. I don't know anything about My Little Pony. I don't care to know anything about My Little Pony. But what giant? That's a great fucking question. Can you give me a minute to let me think on that?
How about why don't we wait till next week on that one? You mull it over for a week.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's actually a really good question.
That could be a fun argument. We could just yell at each other.
What and why? What franchise? I'm writing that down. Okay. So real quick, big news. Okay. Star Wars just released an announcement, and I'm going to read it directly from Star Wars. They released it on Instagram. Send a Raven, David Benoff and D.B. Weiss are going from Westeros to a galaxy far, far away. So they are going to be getting their own their own series of movies. Looks like it's going to be multiple movies, like a trilogy of movies. Could be more, but it's going to be multiple movies. They're going to be writing and directing. And Kathleen Kennedy, who is the head of Lucasfilm over there, released a statement basically saying, they're excited for the story. It looks like they're going to do a very character-driven story, which is what I've been hoping and praying for. Now, I'm actually going to start with Ben on this just because you last said on this. So, not being a Star Wars fan, but a Game of Thrones fan, are you excited for a potential story, which kind of seems like this answers any of the problems that you just stated, coming from the heads of Game of Thrones, now dabbling in a galaxy far, far away?
You know what, Freddie Packard? You are an insightful son of a bitch. You know that? Yes. As a matter of fact, I am excited about this. I think that Star Wars has always been precious and methodical about its deaths in the series, about its who lives and who dies, about what's important, what isn't, about its shock value. And the number one series that has never kowtowed to any of those is Game of Thrones. You throw that in the Star Wars universe, and especially where these guys weren't afraid to build and build and build and build and still kept the parameters, right? Like that would be great. But like I said, with Star Wars, find out other fucking, oh Jesus, he just fucking went down, didn't he? Is he dead? He took, you know what, Stan, I'm gonna keep going. So you think about like, Freddie's getting sexted. That's sexting.
Sorry,
that's
folks.
me. My bad. Accidental. Unsolicited. My fault.
Yeah, Stan just sent me a dick pic.
So I'll just finish this by saying that you have the Star Wars universe, which, like I said, is only these analogs for humanity or not humanity. And Game of Thrones people are much better about including lots and lots of different things. I get they're all here on the show.
Lots and lots of different things.
I don't say shit to me about that. But that's that world. And in that world, they've managed to make a broad spectrum of those characters. So I'd be more than willing to give it a shot.
Okay. But see, there we go. So, guys, see, I don't even need a full hour. I just need this, and then we can possibly turn you into. Now, here's the thing. I am praying and hoping to God they go Old Republic with these guys. Give me set 5,000 years. Give me the war between the Jedi and the Sith. Give me that with these guys at the helm, and I am fucking pumped. I would be so excited. Give me that Game of Thrones feel in Star Wars where you have Jedi versus Sith and all the politics behind that and how the Sith were originally Jedi and they defected from the Order, and then they had this huge war, and then 2 Sith decided to kill all the other Sith because they were all cutting each other's throat, and they never win. That's how they developed the rule too. Give me that story with these guys and I will lose my shit. But Stan, I'm going to keep it on you for a minute here. What is your opinion while I go grab something really quick to show?
Well, I think Stan's just excited to see Qui-Gon Jinn's dick, right?
Again? Oh. No, I didn't know Qui-Gon had a dick. But
wait, Stan, take 2.
To what?
No.
Yeah, I know. I think that the Star Wars trilogy could be good. I mean, it depends on what they do. I have no idea really, and frankly, the fact that the Game of Thrones guys are working on it really doesn't mean a ball of shit to me. I don't really care for the movie or the TV show, or I read the first book about 3/4 of the way through it and then threw up from too many adjectives being jammed down my throat.
So I'm guessing you weren't a big Fitzgerald fan either. You were more of the Hemingway guy.
So real quick, Stan, I just went and grabbed this for you just to show it to you. So this here, like you said, is the Game of Thrones graphic novel. So you can literally open this bad boy up and you can have your Game of Thrones graphic novel. And guess what? It's not that big. That's book 1.
Are you plugging Game of Thrones graphic novels on this?
I'm just
no, but I would
you said strip away
as
all the stuff, and here you go. You have book 1, volume 1, the graphic novel, and it's an adaptation, and it's
all right.
I mean, look at that. I mean,
I'll try it then.
I was saying they have all of them in graphic novel form, and you can really get into this and enjoy it. That way, if you need pictures and picture books, you got it, buddy.
I don't need pictures, but what I don't need is 17 ways to describe a drop of water.
That's so true in the books.
That's a fucking writer pandering because he can't think of his next line.
But you cannot take away what they're doing in that TV show, man. I mean, there's something special there.
I don't know. I watched no TV, so I really can't tell you what they're doing on the TV show, other than I know Howard Stern is pissed off because the lady doesn't show her boobs anymore.
She showed that last season.
So everyone listening and watching right now, take all of Stan's advice with a huge old grain of salt, because that's basically being like, listen, planes are the shittiest way to travel, and by the way, I stay at my house all the time.
Before we start,
I see nothing wrong with this.
Hey, the man's comfortable and he's happy, so there we go. But okay, so real quick, guys, we're gonna go now. Queue it up over for our next segment, which I believe, it's gonna be with Ben. So Ben, I'm gonna queue it up over to you. Get your screen share ready, and I'm gonna send it over to you really quick. But yeah, this is gonna be Ben's segment, and here, look at you, you got it all up here.
Good stuff, and you got the bad stuff, and that's all the things in Ben's What the Fuck.
Beautiful.
You like that, guys? Oh wait, the people didn't see it last week because the episode was weird.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, I apologize, guys. We had a whole show tape for last week, and we had an error with the upload. So, and we're giving you a brand new show. So this was last week was the first segment for What the Fuck, and that's when last week's What the Fuck was the bet between Ben and Stan, and that's how you got this beautiful head of hair. All right, Ben, what do we got for What's the Fuck with Ben?
This week for What the Fuck with Ben, we have a little game for you guys, all right? I am going to hold up a graphic novel, and I want you guys to tell me who either the writer or the artist is. Bonus points for both. Whoever gets it first is the man. Are you ready, Stan?
Oh Jesus, I'm not. Right. I am not ready for this.
Ready? Are you ready?
I'm going to have to be.
Ready? First one's easy, guys. I'm giving you, this is literally a lobbed softball pitch. Are you ready?
Batman Year One. Oh, shit.
Frank Miller.
Boom!
Oh, God. Yeah. I'm not going to be good at this.
Dude, this is awful. All right, ready? This one's a little trickier.
Lex Luthor. You got all DC stuff, man. I don't read DC. Shit.
Give me a second. Move your finger a little bit. Or move it around. Talk. Let me see it.
I'm going to guess Lee.
It is Lee Bomero.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
You meant Jim Lee, you liar.
Brian Azzarello. Good job.
That's what I went with.
All right, ready, guys? Are you ready for this one? This is getting out of the DC territory. Here we go. Ready? This is a new one. The
Okay.
rethink Hawkeye run.
Yeah, that looks
Isn't
really
that
good
Tom
though.
Cruise?
I'm a big.
No.
No. Is it Joe?
Yeah, Joe. What first name bullshit? Nope. You guys give up?
Yeah, I gave up like 15
I don't know.
years ago.
I don't know, to be honest.
Jack Fraction and David Aha. He did the covers and most of the interiors.
Yeah,
for-
hold that book back up though.
Yeah, dude. Have
That's
you
a beautiful. That's a beautiful look. How big is that book?
Oh, it's the omnibus.
Oh, okay. That's a big book.
Yeah,
Have you
A
guys
guy
read
who shoots arrows.
This
That's a great looking book.
this one? This is a phenomenal book. You guys should definitely read that one. Okay, this one's a little more old school. Ready? Some good old fashioned like fucking dark shit. The Marvel Knights Punisher. Who wrote the Marvel Knights Punisher? Come on,
Oh,
he did it forever.
Mark
Oh,
Waid?
oh. No, it's the guy who just was under scrutiny.
Chuck Dixon?
It was a racist. It's a racist son of a bitch, isn't it?
No, not him. No. Oh, God.
No. Okay.
He's famous for being like just gross with his writing, like a real bastard.
Travis?
Yeah, Travis McIntyre. That's who it is.
Give me a. I want Up the River too.
Ready? I'll give you up there for two. I'll give you a hint. Ready? Preacher.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my pastor.
No. It's oh my god, it's the guy who did The Walking Dead.
No,
Kirkman.
you guys are the worst. No, Garth Ennis.
Oh,
No, none of us give a
But
shit.
you know,
Not that we're the worst.
Preacher also was done by Kirkman.
No, it was not.
Yeah, Preacher, the TV show Preacher. That it's basically, it has to do with those zombies and stuff with where there's like. No, I'm serious.
Fine, safe.
With the demons and thing.
All right,
All right.
I was gonna do. Listen, I was gonna do "Demon in the Bottle" by Iron Man, but I'm not even gonna give you guys a chance on that one. I was gonna. But-
Dude, I'm super impressed with your artist and whatever skills. That is not my forte.
Just two more. You guys can do it. I believe in you guys. Okay, maybe not so much Freddy, more Stan. Okay, here we go. Scalped. Who wrote or drew Scalped for Image Comics?
I can't see the name. Let's
Brian
look it up.
Vaughn.
Yes. No, it's no fuck you. No, he did the introduction. No, come on, dude. Come really, you guys. I hate this. Is
No.
Yeah.
What? Don't you have
Jason,
a life?
Jason Aaron. Jason, this is where Jason Aaron got his start from. You guys, come on. All right, ready? Last one. If you guys don't get this, honestly,
Who did Salvagers?
that was Ben Gold.
That was a guy named Saab Bally.
Saw Bally. All right,
Saab
ready? Guys?
Bally.
If you guys don't get this one, you're gonna have to just quit comics. Okay, ready?
No.
Give me
Contract with God trilogy.
Oh, that was. Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, Freddie. Don't
I
look
signed
it
a
up.
different
Look it up.
contract.
You asshole! You're looking it up. I know you are. I can see.
I'm not looking it up.
Hold
I
on.
clicked. I'm not looking.
I can hear you.
You cheating son of a bitch.
Will Eisner. Will Eisner.
Okay,
The fucking
right.
comic award is named after him. Oh, this is.
guys. Let me first off preface how I got into comic books.
You
It
slept
was-
your way to the top?
No, it was not. It was not well-known artists and writers that got me to comics. It was the indie community that got me in. So you want to pull up some indie stuff? I could probably do better with that because I'm more. It's kind of like how people are into like indie films versus like major films. I kind of got more into indie. I really embraced the indie community, especially Kickstarter. I can't even tell you how many books I had. Like we were talking about this one last week. The Imaginary Voyages of Edgar Allan Poe.
I just backed Oh Yeah Captain, which looks amazing. Have you seen that one?
I've not, but I cannot wait. So with Kraken, I'm going to be all over Kickstarter, just looking at all these new Kickstarters for comics. I'm super pumped for that. But yeah, no, I mean, I'll get more familiarized with the mainstream stuff. But I mean, really, I'm very much an indie, go-getter right now.
Andy,
All right, well, to finish it up, I think we should see it one more time.
Good stuff, and you got the bad stuff, and that's all the things in Ben's What the Fuck?
Jesus. What
You both failed miserably, but
I know, yeah, we fucked up real hard on that one. All right. So our final segment, final segment before we get into our game to end the show is we have a question segment with Stan. So you guys have an opportunity to write in every week if you'd like. You could either direct message us on one of our social medias, or you can essentially send us an email. So Stan, where can people find us, and what questions do you have for us today?
All right. First of all, you people are really lame and haven't sent that many things in, so I'll have to go with 3 from the same guy. The email is weeklypressingquestions@gmail.com. I guarantee you I will give you the worst possible advice you can get, and I will likely make fun of you the entire time. I do have a few things to say about a Comic-Con afterward, but right now I got a question about Comic-Cons. And the question was, how can you get big name comic guests at Comic-Cons? And then they constantly email me these names that are like $25,000 a day. What I want people to understand is these guys are not free. And we happily bring them around, and we happily get as many guest artists as we can. And then some people get pissed off because they weren't invited back the next year. It has nothing to do with you personally. It has to do with I'm putting together an artist alley so that I can include everyone all the time. And sometimes that means new people come in, and that's just the best way to describe that. And as for people telling me to get these, get Frank Miller, or get Stan Lee, he's almost gone. These aren't the people that we go after. We go after basically, like you said, Freddie, we like indie guys. I love filling the room with comic book professionals, and we have a good handful of pretty big names. But if you're going to bother a Comic-Con, on their Facebook, on their email, on their anything, just ask them politely, do you think so-and-so from whatever you call it is a possibility? We would really like to see him. That's all you need. You don't need to throw these, get this guy, get this guy, get this guy, 20-page emails at people. It's just not fun. It's nothing funny about it. But yeah, that's basically what I had in my notes for the Words of Stan this week. That question comes from an unknown source on Twitter, as their Twitter handle was at blah, 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 with an H. It was. It's at with a bunch of fucking weird symbols and shit. But I let me take a look at this. I do have a little bit of Comic-Con news if you'd like to hear it quick.
Yeah. You were kind of prefacing this before we started the show, and I told you to hold off on this because I want to get an actual reaction.
Yeah, right. And then I sent the fucking message to the wrong person. So anyway, we have a little Comic-Con called the Great Philadelphia Comic-Con. It's April 27th through the 29th, 2018. It's the one I run. I do the Artist Alley. I'm the coordinator. I am the director of Artist Alley and Creator Relations. And this year,
Stan lots of emails. He loves it when people just email him about it. Lots.
Oh, it's awesome. No. I don't get those. I read those. I have to say, this year we have something that never had ever. We're having a Star Wars fan fest this year, and we have announced 2 people who have never ever been to any cons before. The one is one of the women at the bar during the cantina scene before the fight with Luke and the "I don't like the way you look" guy. And then obviously
he doesn't like you either.
So we will be announcing, if we haven't already, Michael Pennington will be doing his first ever Comic-Con ever. Do you remember who he was?
Michael Pennington. Tell me.
Okay, Empire Strikes Back, I believe it was, when Vader walks onto the Death Star.
Oh, wait, is he the guy who gets choked?
Yeah, no, he's the guy that gets told that that Vader says, "No time for pleasantries. I'm here to make sure you get back on schedule."
Oh, yeah, no, that is, excuse me,
that guy.
That is not Empire. That was Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
and that is when because he's prepping them for the second Death Star. Because remember, in Empire, the second Death Star is not around.
Oh, that's right.
I thought it was Attack of the Clones.
I mean, it's a simple look.
You.
I'll take it.
So yeah,
you didn't like Attack of the Clones. That's funny.
Listen, I could A Phantom Menace. I'll give everybody. I'd like the Phantom Attack of the Clones. To me, and here's the thing: I love Clone Wars, the TV show. Loved it. I think that did a great job of fixing all the issues of the prequels. So if you haven't watched that, watch that. But with that being said, Attack of the Clones, first going into it, I was just like, ooh, this hurts. This hurts my soul. But all right, continuing on.
Return of the Jedi. Absolutely, you're 100% right. Not that I thought you weren't, but
we'll double our efforts. We'll double our efforts. That's what he says. We'll double our efforts.
Yes, the Emperor. That's
the
right.
Emperor coming here. We'll double our efforts.
Oh yes, quickly, sir. But yeah, no, this is the first show he's ever doing, ever, and he doesn't plan on doing many more. So if you're a signature guy, if you're a obscure celebrity guy, that's is a pretty big role in that movie. I mean, it wasn't talking every 5 minutes, but it's definitely memorable.
Like completionists with their autographs. That's
the other thing. Yeah. The completionists will finally get this dude. I mean, you can get anybody else pretty much, except for
Baker,
the dead ones. Well, no, you need a shovel to finish.
I would even venture to say that his signature is harder to get than Mark Hamill's.
Doesn't Hamill sign all kinds of shit and send it to people?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
like fan mail.
Mark Hamill's the greatest when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, no, he's unreal. I like Mark Hamill. I like him when he's on the Batman animated movies.
Very cool. Very cool. That crew. She's also a singer, I think. I think I know a little bit about her past. But I think she was a singer. But very cool, man. Very cool. So you're gonna have some pretty cool guests for
Star Wars heavy. Star Wars heavy this year. I mean, even
last year you guys had Alan Tudyk. Speaking of Star Wars, the poor bastard was sick as a dog too.
Yeah, I know. I had to give him some cold remedy, and then he looked at it and said there was too much sugar in it, and I said, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah.
Oh, he's one of those. Oh,
I tried. No, he was cool as shit, man. He was actually, as celebrities go, he was like laid back. He gave people gifts at the panel. He took from the hotel. He would take the hotel soaps. He would sign them and he would give them out to people in the panel. Soaps, shampoos. Yeah, no, it's funny as hell. All the free stuff. He didn't steal anything, but all the complimentary stuff he signed and gave away.
That's so funny.
That's awesome. All right, guys. So that was our final segment. So now we're gonna go into our game segment here, which I'm very, very, very excited for, which I think is going to be an interesting one. So right now the score, I believe, is
for everyone, because last week we didn't go up. But hey, who won last week?
I think you won because I didn't have an opinion on it, but that's not really a win. Okay. That's kind of like a deflated ball Super Bowl win. Yeah, you didn't really win.
Right now the score is 2-1, Ben to Stan. So, but I think you guys are going to have a great debate right now, and I'm really looking forward to it. So here we go. Remake. If you could remake one movie, what would it be and why?
Ben, you're first. I need time.
Oh,
please! Like you don't have an opinion already, you fucking beanpad.
Well, I'll give you guys a second to digest that while I'm just randomly shouting out here. So, in terms of movies that you could remake, there's a huge list, and you could even remake Star Wars. You could remake, New Hope. You could remake Indiana Jones. You could remake Ghostbusters, which they failed miserably. You can. And I'm not talking about a relaunch. I'm talking about a remake. If you could take a movie from the past and you're like, you know what, this movie needs to be redone again. So, for instance, there is talks that they're going to be remaking Gladiator. No reason to. Yeah, there's no reason to whatsoever. But they're talking about remaking Gladiator. Not one that I need a remake of.
I got it.
All right, we're going to give the floor to Ben. Let me click it on you so it stays on your face. Here we go.
Okay, so this is not exactly a comic book thing, but I would remake Funny People, the failed Judd Apatow, Adam Sandler movie. The premise that all comedians, and I've known so many comedians, and they are all so unstable, and they're all so depressed, and they all have so much anxiety, and it's such a brilliant movie that they completely fucked up and ignored. I mean, I've never seen a movie where there was such like buoyant source material that they completely ignored for the sake of God knows what. So I would remake funny people. I mean, look at Robin Williams. Like, look at these guys. Not to be a downer, but like, look at all these comedians who make our lives wonderful, who inside have this just unbearable torment. I would love to remake funny people.
Okay, I can see that's actually it's not a bad one. It's not a bad choice at all. And I'm going to kick it over to Stan, and I'm curious to know what you would remake, Stan.
Wow. This is kind of like a will you marry me question. I mean, how the hell do you come up with something that you want to remake? I mean, the only movies I ever watch are ones I like, so if I like them. But if I had to say any, it would be Tron 2. The Legacy, I guess. Tron Legacy. Yeah, it was it lacked everything. I mean, I just didn't like it.
Okay, so you would redo it just completely and
from formula.
Do you have any why? The whole thing was bad. I get it.
Okay, well, it wasn't set in the same period of time, though. It was set in which, is completely different than what was expected. I was assuming it was going to be one movie, and it turned into being this like big political, I'd rather live here Matrix type bullshit than actually an adventure, or like the first one, a fun ride. The special effects were there for special effects' sake. They went too far, I think, with the CGI. The helmets were pretty pathetic. The light bikes sucked. The story was horrible, and 95% of the acting was horrible. So I would fire and start from the beginning.
Just to is this the one? Is this the second movie that came? Was there a second movie that came out for Tron? So there was the first Tron.
Yeah, Tron I wouldn't touch. Would not touch that. That was great.
He's talking about Tron Legacy, where they did the CG Jeff Bridges.
Oh yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah, no, I saw that. I can see your point on that too. So wow,
I'm a weirdo. I like weird movies.
Ooh,
what would you
guys are,
do?
Mine's very simple. So I'm a huge fantasy nut, and I love fantasy stories. For me, that would be Eragon. And the reason for it is I read Eragon, Eldest, Brizinger, the Inherited Cycle books. There's 4 books in this series, and the books are Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Caliber. They're written by Jason Pellini. He was 15 years old when he started writing these books, and they're just tremendous story. I mean, you got everything, and I'm a big dragon. I mean, that's a huge component of Skyland, my Skyland series that I write. A lot of that motivation and inspiration came from Eragon, because I just love the idea of a dragon and its rider and that bond. So Eragon, I would totally redo, recast, and it had Irons in it. Jeremy Irons was in it. It had a great cast, and they just didn't deliver. And the reason for it is when you have this amazing source material, the people that are going to go see this movie are the people that read the source material. And that's your backbone, right? And when you go into this movie and they completely just gutted, I mean, there's this creature in it called the Razak, who they kill in the first 30 minutes of the movie that are in it throughout the entire series. It's kind of like if you killed the ring wraiths in a Fellowship of the Ring. It's like, what are you doing? You can't, if they made the movies and killed the ring wraiths in Fellowship of the Ring, and what happens in Return of the King, you'd be like, what the hell? I mean, that's basically what they did, and it's just horrible the way they treated the source material, and I hate it. Going in and seeing that movie, I was so excited. I'm like, oh, and this I think came out after Lord of the Rings was done.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is didn't they shit that out in the time period where everybody was desperate to get it on the success train of Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, but, it was 100% rush, 100% studio completely. But I think it was Fox. Fox ruins everything. Literally has ruined everything. I mean,
news, movies, TV.
I mean, no, seriously. I'm not even going to bash Fox thoroughly, because now I believe they were bought by Disney, right? So
yeah, be careful, you'll get a cease and desist.
Yeah, right. But I mean, seriously, I'm excited for what's coming now. But the way Serenity and Firefly, which is probably arguably one of the greatest TV shows of all time, was
Highlander
ruined.
of the series.
Right, it was just. I mean, Firefly, one of the greatest series of all time, was released out of order when it first came out. Changed the different dates, so like it's like, oh, every Monday, and then they aired the episodes out of order, and it was just horrible. And but when you actually go back and you watch it, it's like it's one of the best. I mean, best character. Anyways, going on a tangent, but if I could redo anything, it would be Aragon, just because I want to see that done right. And that's pretty much that. As for the winner between the two of you, whew,
I hope you win, Ben.
I hope
Just because of that hair.
you win. It's just an honor to be nominated, Stan. Okay, all right.
oh man, this is tough, guys. Oh,
Ben for the three-peat.
so here's the thing.
You got to give him a three-peat. Come on. My argument was weak.
Man, this weekend.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I think you picked the better. I'd be very excited to see Tron. I would love to see a Tron redo. I'm more excited for a Tron remake. However, I have to go with Ben just because he defended his thing a little bit better. So
No,
I gotta go with it. So Ben's up 3-1 right now. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Just like the Patriots, you're ahead right now. But that doesn't mean our Philly boy can't come back and take the lead eventually from you. So I'm excited to see.
I'm aware. Thank you. Yeah, I know.
But that's it, guys. I appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't already, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this video, to our channel, so that we can grow this thing, get a little bit higher budget for you, and get this thing
Right
going.
there.
Also, Source Point Press has a Patreon that I would highly recommend subscribing to too. You get a little bit fun behind the scenes. Lots of great writers are doing special things for the Patreon. So and artists alike.
On the Patreon, I do a weekly thing called Newsletter Noir. It's a noir style comedy where all of the Source Point creators are different archetypes in that world. And Freddie will have to add you into that too soon.
I'm excited. Love to see that. But yeah, guys, check out the Source Point Press Patreon. Definitely worth checking out. You can find me at Karan_comics on Instagram. I don't really use Twitter too much, or you can find us at Karan Comics on Facebook. And that'll be where you can find all our stuff. So kick it over to you, Stan. Where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook as The Words of Stan, Twitter, Instagram at The Words of Stan. You can check out the website, www.philadelphiacomiccon.com, to check out all our new guests. We're not just doing Star Wars. We're having Sesame Street. We're having stuff that's going to blow your mind this year. Other than that, check out our Facebook page, The Great Philadelphia Comic Con, and hopefully next week I'll have a good enough argument to destroy these two in our little challenge there.
Oh, it's not it's just the delivery, man. You picked the right one too. But I have a feeling you'll rebound, Stan. You got those warrior words. I think you just need to bring some poetry to it. So
Ben's very chatty.
Oh man, Jesus Christ! All right, Ben, where can people find you?
Under an embarrassing hat, apparently.
Oh, all right. I had to switch it over here. I didn't feel right. So you guys can find me at Mr. Ben AU on Instagram. You guys can go to the anything Source Point Press related. That's where I'm at. All the fun new news for issue 2, which is coming out of Seance Room, is on the Facebook page for seanceroom.com, and that should be out literally any day now.
Yeah, that's exciting. And thank you guys for watching our show. Till next time.
Wait, one more announcement. This just came through for me. All right, so we're going to have a little contest here. And I have just been given a little bit of a sponsorship while we were chatting. The Great Philadelphia Comic Con will be sponsoring the show and offering up tickets for Friday and Sunday.
What?
Individual tickets. The more people email me the question we pick, that question will get a set of tickets for that Friday night or that Sunday, whenever they can make it. And we can start that pretty much right now. So don't forget, send your emails. Ask me any question. Don't catch feelings. Don't get butthurt. I'm going to talk shit. The email is weeklypressingquestions@gmail.com. Do not miss your chance to miss the best show on the East Coast and get a free set of tickets.
Holy shit!
Beautiful.
We're
And
sponsored, guys.
two things. What I'm going to do really quick is I'll put that the link in the description so you can send an email right to Stan, and I'll put the contest giveaway there. Awesome. That's huge. That's huge. And so till next time, guys. Bye-bye.